Welcome everyone to the CyberWise A21 online graduation ceremony. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, it's been Zmanim. It's a difficult time. People are busy with family and other things. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, of course, to our special guest, Mr. Ali Kashtan. We're going to hear from you shortly about your whole story. We look forward to that. So I want to begin with a few words of maybe framing today's celebration, because I want everybody to think of it as a celebration. We're not totally at the end of the road, right? We're just at the beginning, but it's still at each milestone that you've made a significant achievement, it is really important to celebrate. I know that's from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, but it's true, you know, in religious things and in secular things, it's important to recognize your own achievements and to celebrate them and to pat yourself on the back, because some days you're going to lose and you're going to feel down and bad and wonder, you know, can I do it? Is it going to work? Am I going to make it? So you have to remember and sort of build up credit from the good days and the days of accomplishment. And I started a cyber course, and it's, you know, a long, hard course full of a million things I know nothing about. And I didn't know if I could get all the way through it. And you did it. And we're here. And we're celebrating that tremendous accomplishment. So it's a day of Zeh Yom Nagila V'nis Mechavoy. It's a day for thanks to Hashem and to rejoicing and giving yourself a little bit of credit. This is not our first time making an online graduation, but each time I try to, you know, see how does one make an online graduation ceremony. So I downloaded this. I have a cap on my computer in the theme of, you know, graduating something cyber. So that's part of the celebration. I want to begin by thanking Leo for his great teaching and his dedication throughout the year, and the rest of the staff, Dora and Hanake and everybody who helped make this possible. Leo, you're raising your hand. You have something to say. You'll have your turn. I'll give you your turn in a moment. So as I began by congratulating you all on this, what I consider a monumental achievement, and encouraging you to save the sweet taste of victory and, you know, make it into bubble gum that you can keep chewing it in your mouth, so that when you get a bitter taste from defeat, or, you know, it takes a long time to achieve other goals and so forth, so you'll be able to still savor the sweet taste of victory. That's I encourage you to do that. It's not the end of the road, it's the beginning of the road. A number of our students, maybe half, have found already like their first job or internship program that they're working on, they're involved in right now. Others are either doing other things or not ready for that, or they're still looking. And it's a process. It's not a process of days really and weeks. It's often a process of months. That's just par for the course. That's how job searches are. They take, you know, weeks and months. And so you just got to keep plugging and working on it, growing in and out of the field. I encourage everybody, you know, don't let your skills get rusty. You need, in this field of cybersecurity with the hackers and the technology always moving forward, so you also need to move forward. You need to be studying, and I strongly recommend you get certifications, and if you have one, get a second one, and that, you know, of course, strengthens your CV and the likelihood of getting a job. But besides just that, it's just learning more stuff and making yourself a more valuable professional, which is really the key to success in this and any field. In terms of our covenant, we're here for you. We'll remain here for you. The burden is on you guys, but we're here and we want to stay connected. So you're involved in job search, you're involved in your first job. We like to hear from you. I'm not going to reach out to you all the time, you know, to ask you how you're doing, but I'm happy to hear how you're doing. I follow everybody on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to see stuff there. And if you're in a situation, you want some guidance, a particular question, or you're between jobs or whatever, so reach out to us. We care, and we want to continue our relationship for many years to come. We want to do things together, and we have that relationship with students from previous years, and we continue to work together with them and do things. So please, you know, stay in the family and continue to be in touch with us. before I introduce Mr. Avi Kashtan particularly and his story in Six Skill, I want to share a sort of funny aspect about how it's really relevant to me and to you, and that is how I met Avi. Was Citibank has a technology, they still have, they have a technology accelerator in a tall building in Tel Aviv in a place called Kiryat Atidim. It's on Dvora Hanaviyah and Raoul Wallenberg Street. And it's a particular corner of, I think it's Northeast Tel Aviv or whatever. Um, and I was part of a tiny startup with some guys from Kiryat Gat, whatever. And I actually almost single-handedly got us accepted into that accelerator program. They had some biometrics, and I encouraged them to put it onto a cell phone. And so we had a concept of biometric verification before you could draw money out of a kaspomat, out of an ATM. You would you'd have the app, and the app would check your face to make sure it's really you. So I'm not saying that Citibank was going to buy it, but they worked with us on it in the accelerator, and that was a lot of fun. And I used to go to Citibank every morning to this technology accelerator in Northeast Tel Aviv for about 6 months was the program. And I met a lot of wonderful people and was exposed to, I learned so much from that program. And one of the great people that I met was Avi Kashtan. His company also was participating in the same program at the same time. And so I migrated over and I worked with Avi and his company Six Skill, and he's going to tell you all about it. But part of the reason I want to share that story, besides the introduction of Avi, is the fact that just last week we signed a collaboration agreement with Ness Technologies. And Ness Technologies is a huge Israeli company. They have, I think, over 20,000 employees all over Israel. And I don't know if it's their headquarters, but the place we met them is a tall building where they're working in the same place in Kiryat Atidim. And they're asking, the people that are going to come do this program, which is an internship program, to come to Tel Aviv every day for, 2 months. And I recognize that's not easy for people coming from Yerushalayim and Beitar and wherever you're coming from. Besides the distance and the commute, there's a huge culture gap. It's a challenge. But I do want to comment on the challenge. My personal experience working in those very buildings, it's a technology park there. There's a bunch of buildings. And so there's a few restaurants, a cafeteria. We used to eat there together, Avi and I and his team, and we'd go out for lunch, whatever. But it's the kind of place, it's very Tel Aviv. And so there's, what's that grocery store? The Treif one, the Tiv Tam, right? So you will see Jews eating pepperoni pizzas there. And it's challenging to, your Yiddish neshama. It's like, oy. But I want to tell you something else I saw there. There was 2 mincha minyans in like a miklat. And I used to go to the mincha minyan there. And it was the summer. It was a few weeks earlier. It was the Beina Mitzarim. It was after Shivasar B'Tammuz and before Tisha B'Av. And there was a guy there sitting on the floor saying Tikkun Chatzois every day during the 3 weeks. Yeah, wow is right, Shmuel. That's not something you see anywhere. Not in Yerushalayim and not in Bnei Brak, but in Tel Aviv, in this totally secular environment. Here was this beautiful Sephardi Jew, a man in his 20s, and he was sitting and saying Tikkun Chatzois every day during his lunch break. So that for me, that was gewaldic. That really moved me. So, you find little sparks of Yiddishkeit wherever you go. And so, again, I'm recognizing the cultural and religious challenge that it represents to be there. But also the fact that this program, look, working for Ness, in my opinion, is sort of like a dream come true in terms of at least a first job. You may not want to work there your whole life, but getting that on your resume in Israel is a really big thing. And although it's a really big company, the cyber department that you're going to be a part of is 20 people. It's a small company. It's a startup mentality within a giant company. And we know the woman who's head of it. We've known her 5 years. She's wonderful. She's a Russian-speaking Israeli. And she taught our course for a time. So she recognizes, again, the value of the human capital, the people coming from Summit's program. And because it's like a 2-month program, a person could do anything for 2 months. You can hold your breath for 2 months. And they were very explicit that if a person shows us that they're good and they're into it and they really want to work there and work hard and succeed, they'll hire them for pay right away, meaning they're not trying to get a certain amount of free months out of you because they're a rich company. And the people running the cyber, it's not their money, they're like small cyber company mentality with a rich uncle nest behind them who can, write big checks. So my point is, if you're thinking, oh, how can I go to Tel Aviv for 2 months every day? It's so hard for me to commute and the culture, etc. I'm saying, hold your breath and do it. Take the plunge because it's such a valuable opportunity. So I'm trying to encourage you to be bold and brave and boundary breaking and really try to accept that challenge. Okay, so without further ado, I want to present Avi Kashtan because, again, I knew him when it was just 2 guys, an idea, and he had a cyber security concept about the dark web. Six-Gill, I'll just start by telling you that Six-Gill is the name of a shark that lives at the bottom of the ocean in the deep, darkest, most dangerous places. So that's what they named their company, Six-Gill. Since then, they've raised over $50 million. It's about 100 people on the staff now, I think. I was number 3 or 4. It's more. Okay. I was there when, again, it was just, Avi and Elad. Anyway, so he has a wonderful, inspiring story to dream big, and sometimes dreams come true. Avi recently has made an exit, and now he's on the board. And so I now present Avi Kashtan to share his remarks with our graduates. Avi, please.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I have very, very warm moment. Very. Jonathan, remember when you were in the US and you were explaining about Six-Gill, what Six-Gill is, and other stuff as well. Okay, so where do I start? First of all, I'm located in Israel, and feel free to interrupt me or ask me questions as you wish. I will tell maybe a little bit where did it start?
Start in Uruguay, Avi.
In Uruguay, yes. Okay, we start there. I born in Uruguay. I made Aliyah when I was 18 in the 1990. I don't want to feel old, but that's the truth. My formal background, I studied computer engineering in the Technion, and then I did an MBA, management of high-tech firms, not one after the other, but a few years after that. I started my career when I finished the Technion and was engineer. I started by doing a project for the Army, for Tzahal here, that I was in charge of taking leading a project that was responsible for all the communication, creating a communication controller between different forces. So you have the air forces, and you have tanks, and you have submarines, etc., etc. You have soldiers, and everyone needs to be connected. And the connection had two very distinct things. One is everything was encrypted. So the idea was if this falls into the hands of the enemy, they cannot understand anything. And the other thing, they had a revolutionary thing called GPS. Nobody knew what the GPS was. And I remember all the tests that we did, it was huge. Yes, it was huge compared to today. And people were amazed at what the capabilities of that. So I will continue forward. Then I worked for a company when we created probably the first voice over IP. When I came here, calling to my mom in Uruguay, it was very, very expensive, and I didn't have a penny. Okay, I was a student working. For me, everything was very expensive. And And they told, I read in some place that there was a company, an Israeli company, that was thinking about developing something revolutionary called voice over IP, and then you can talk for free. And so I remember that I wrote them a letter and told them that I would great. I would like very much to work for you, but only with one condition. I would like to lead this project because I have a personal interest. That because my mom is in Uruguay and it's very expensive for me to go. So to make a long story short, after several interviews, they say, okay, you got it. And then it was my second job. And then after that, I worked for a company named Checkpoint when we created probably the first firewall in the world. And those were the times when people used to ask me if Checkpoint was a startup or not a startup. Okay. So again, I don't want to feel a dinosaur. I'm very young, but those were the days. And there is a song, no? Those were the days. Okay. After that, I created a company and I sold the company. And very, very, very fast forward, in the last years, in 2014, to be more exact, we created SixGil. The 6 years Jonathan explained better than me. First of all, what we do, okay, SixGil is we are a cyber intelligence company. And what we do is we created a system that automatically monitor and analyze dark web activity. So by doing so, we're able to see many of the attacks, cyber attacks, before they happen. And we provide our customer with with one, real-time alerts. Secondly, a system that enables them to perform a deeper research and investigation. And third, that is last but not least, I don't know if you know, Jonathan, but we won a prize in the UN, the United Nations. And the reason, it was after you.
Congratulations, that's really impressive.
I will tell you why. The whole cyber world, okay, in those days, when we started 2014, 2015, there was one paradigm, okay? All the organizations were competing between themselves, who has the best sources, okay? So, by the way, who are our customers? Customers are intelligence agencies. We have worked both with governments and in the private sector. In the governments, we work intelligence agencies, armies, police, international polices, etc., etc. And in the private sector, we work with banks, with telecom, insurance companies, etc. Okay, so the cyber world was, if you have two intelligence agencies, one will say, I have better sources than you, so I know better than you. Okay, this was more or less the conversation. The problem with that was that the more data that you have, the less effective conclusions you could achieve. And this was creating a kind of contradiction, okay? And nobody seems to have an explanation for that. I mean, how can it be? We really do have better sources. We do believe that our sources are the best in the world, okay? So we create this pool of information, but we're able to deduct less things. So how can that be? And the work continue in the cyber world for a while. The work continue into that paradigm. Okay, let's bring better sources. Let's put our agents in other places. Let's try to do a better analysis of this information, of this data. But nothing seems to be helping. And there was like an open question. And then we came with a theory. Okay, and this theory say, what if we analyze this data not as data or information like it is being done now, but as human beings? Okay, And if we say, okay, these are human beings, then there are many things that you can derive from that. For example, one, it should be a dark web social network, right? Where is it? Secondly, this dark web social network should be very special. Why? Because it's a different one. It's not like the normal ones. Why? Because it does not attract the regular people. Because, for example, in this dark web social network, people don't want to be recognized, right? So I can say my name is Avi, and tomorrow I can say my name is Yossi. How do you know that Avi and Yossi is the same guy? Or the other way around. I can say I'm Bill Gates. How do you know I'm not? Okay, so there are many things that should be very, very special, and we need to tackle and analyze that. All right, okay. So we started to develop all this concept of a dark web social network with all the challenges that this is very special dark web social network. All right. So we applied a lot of artificial intelligence, for example, in recognizing who the people was, who the people were, okay? And first of all, and we discovered many interesting facts into that I think it's more related to psychology than to cyber, okay? But for example, it turns out that it's very difficult to change your identity. Even in real life, okay, you go to a doctor, an operation, you check your face, your body, etc., etc. Okay, but you still have your eye, you still have your thumb, you still have your language, you think, and if you analyze a person, for example, another thing we did is we analyze a person, not now, but 15 years ago, we called it since the start of history. So if you analyze a person, I don't know what I will be doing next month, okay? But if you what I will be doing 15 years from now, I have no idea, frankly. So, and it turns out this is true for many people. So if you analyze a person 15 years ago, the kind of things and amount of information, even if they try to hide some things, okay, it's very, very hard because you don't know. So we started to collect that, one. Secondly, we applied a lot of artificial intelligence, as I said before, to analyze two things, who the people are. Secondly, what is the motivation of these people? And this may sound like a simple question, but it turns out it is not. For example, the amount of complexity that we see in the dark. First of all, everybody knows what the dark web is. Yes, okay. That when we used to see, for example, the amount of complexity that it takes to do this kind of bad things. All right. So to rob a bank, it's not easy. Believe me, it's not an easy task. But there are people that do that, right? And they do it in the dark web and other places. The amount of sophistication and intellectual advance is huge. So there is a question: what the people that do this, they do this because it's not entering physically to the bank with a gun and say, okay, give me all your money, right? It takes a deep understanding of technology, etc., etc. Not regular people know how to do that. So the question was intact. I mean, why do these people do what they do? Because they can get a job and do whatever they want everywhere in the world, right? So it shouldn't be money. I mean, of course, they earn a lot of money, but what we discovered, there is much more than money, and money is just only part of the story. Okay, so the big motivations, it comes from other places. For example, there are people that want to be important in some group. Okay, maybe the feeling that they do not get in other parts in real life, and etc. There is a lot. And for all this, the creation of this concept of the dark web social network and this analysis, which, by the way, enable to get to better conclusions, this is what brought us to win this the prize in the United Nations. That was one of the 10 most disruptive companies and disruptive and promising companies on the world. I think it's still in the If you Google it, UNESCO or my name, I think I long time didn't do it, but I guess it's still there. So then we changed the paradigm, and then it gave us a lot of exposure. But before that, I would like to tell you to go back a little bit, and maybe to tell you how do you create a company when you are two guys and nothing more. And so looking back, and I did a lot of mistakes, don't misunderstand it, right? But I also did some good things. And when I look back and I try to analyze what were my lessons, yes. So first of all, the first thing that I did is surround myself from people that I knew, I believe, were better than me in every sense, okay? In any sense. For example, I created for myself an advisory board that was comprised from the former CTO of the Mossad. CTO is Chief of Technology, okay? Chief Technology Officer. This is one. I had another guy that he did 2 exits before. So my understanding, my rationale was I would have with him a brainstorm regarding business. With the Mossad that we have regarding technology. And by the way, everyone understand, both Amit understood business and the other one understood technology, yes? But I wanted to create a focus. And also there was a lady that she was the head of A200, AISP. A200, you know, Jonathan, is the elite intelligence unit here in the Army. So this was the advisory board that I created. So it was like a safe place when we could discuss everything that seems absurd, okay? And you feel between friends, okay? And of course, everything was secret, but well, these guys used to tell me we know how to keep secrets, and I believe. So this was more or less. And when we created, we didn't have a website. We put under soon to be or under construction. I think we put a logo or something, but the idea was that nobody understand, because we wanted to keep that for to create the expectation and not to share at the beginning what we were thinking and doing. So after we came to a concept that we thought that it could work, it was hard to believe. I remember that I used to ask Amit, it can't be that nobody thought about that. And if they thought, why they are not doing this? I say, many people used to tell me, yes, you cannot do it. It's much more complex. Otherwise, other people were doing that, right? But this was not true, okay? So nobody was really doing that. So we say, okay, I think we have something good in hands. And with that idea, then I approached the accelerator when we met with Jonathan. And from the accelerator, I remember that the manager of the accelerator of NEEDS, that Jonathan, you know her, a great lady. And she asked me, okay, what's your expectation when we finish here? What do you want to achieve? What your expectations are? And I remember what I want. I want 2 things. One, a POC with Citibank, okay? And as a result of that, I want Citibank to be my customer. And I remember that I've been told, no, don't put these goals, because otherwise you will fail, right? And I say, no, this will be my goal. I'm here. I need to take whatever it takes, but I'm not going home without this, okay? And I will do whatever. And then, okay, I started to devise a plan. How do I do? And then I started to analyze who the people, who is the cyber intelligence department in city, and I asked for me to connect me to these guys. And after the connection, it's up to you. I mean, nobody can help you if you don't do the job. So I took a plane to the US, and a lad came with me. I think, Jonathan, this is when we met in DC, no? If I remember correctly. Because we tried many times, I don't remember, but one of these times, and I managed to know all the team, okay, all the boss, the decision maker, the boss of the boss, the team, the boss team, everyone, and I become friends. Even today, even up to today, I don't think about them as a customer. I think about them as a friend. And whenever I travel to DC or New York, I take everyone and we walk to restaurants, and we speak about life and less about business. And I learned a lot from them. And my idea was, okay, of course I wanted to sell to them my product, right? But how do I do? Because you need to understand one thing: nobody wants you. Nobody wants that someone sell to them, but everyone wants to buy. Okay, so this is a kind of psychology into that. So I suggested, why don't we do a design partnership? Okay, and they asked me, okay, design partnership is when you create a company and a product, you say, okay, this is my product, this is what I'm going to offer to my customers. And I think this is the best thing, right? But maybe you can ask a question. You can ask your customer, if you think, you, my customer, do you think that what I think is right? Or maybe we can do it together, because I'm open for that. Okay. And they ask me, I understand, we understand, but we are Citibank, you know, and what do we get? I mean, we were nothing. We were just two ants, okay, to be sincere. And they asked me, what do we get from that? Suppose we accept your suggestion, right? What do we get? And there wasn't too much a good answer for that. But I remember that I told them three things. Okay, one thing, you Citibank, get exposure to the best technology in the world. Okay, this is what I thought. Secondly, when we become commercial and we start selling, you will get a price that nobody will get in the market. All right. And the third thing, in my way to here, I was hearing a song of Bee Gees. You know, it was true. It was a true story. And there is a song named Words, and the singer sings, words is all I have to take your heart away. It's only words, and words it's all I have to take your heart away. And I said, this is the third thing, but I remember the song when I came in my way to here. And they start laugh a little bit. They smile, and there was a management meeting. Yes, it was a very serious one, but they smile. And I remember that I thought one of two things will happen here. Or they will kick us out, okay? Or they will flow with us. But I didn't want this to remain in the, okay, we will be in touch. I didn't want that. Okay, I don't want to be in touch. I want to decide, and want to decide now, here in this meeting. Okay, so I did this, and I took the risk. Okay, that this is the last thing of this relationship. But after, I think it was 10 seconds of silence, but it was a very loudly silence. And one of the guys say, at the head of innovation, say, I'm okay with David's proposition, you know. And he looked at his boss, and his boss say, if you're okay, I'm okay. Who am I? And I said, okay, we got them. Okay. And from then we started this design partnership. So from there on, I said, okay, now I need to devise a plan. How will they become a customer? Okay, to make a long story short, we created a really great relationship with the team. Okay, because if all your team, my assumption was, even if their boss don't like us, which wasn't true, the boss is, now we are really, really good friends, you know. When we come here, we go and speak about life, and he's on the way to retirement too. And but they say, okay, what if he doesn't like my eyes, my voice, etc. So I will make great relationship with the team because the team will push him to do that. He won't be able to say no. So I had a backup, kind of backup plans, and it turned out that they liked, everyone liked that, and then I found myself negotiating the terms of a selling to Citibank. So when I did that, and I had investors, yes, I by the way, I didn't say, but I started negotiating my first investment round. And I could say at that time, I am in negotiations with my first customer, because when you start a company, many people used to tell me, start here close to home, okay? Go to local banks you have here. If you have the city of the Mossad, why don't you start negotiating with the Mossad, etc., etc. And I thought this will be a mistake. Why? Because anyway, my market will be in the US, right? This is the market. So why will I spend time here when this is not my really where I want to be? Okay, I want to be in the US, and then I was able to tell my investor I'm in the middle of negotiations with Citibank, and I hope the outcome will be good. And then we started very advanced negotiation. We will really exchanging contracts. So I started to do my second round, because I closed that already. When they hear that we were in negotiation with Citibank, we were able to close a very, very good round. Okay, it was at that time was over $1 million of investment, which give us the possibility to recruit your own team and start developing, and then we start building. We rented the offices, we moved to Netanya, and we rented very nice, very, very beautiful offices. And because we wanted to be attractive, to look nice for the people that we wanted to recruit. And after I did that, I closed with Citibank. And I remember I traveled to the US again, okay, and they mandated to be a keynote speaker in there is an event called the ISS. I don't know if you know it. It's also in Washington, but it's the center of intelligence agencies, the American intelligence agencies. Okay, so you have their Homeland Security and the CIA and the FBI and the, you name it, yes, and also from here and from other parts of the world. But the title is the American intelligence agencies. And after I gave a speech there, I started negotiation with our second customer that it turned out to be Homeland Security. So and when we started negotiating to that, it was very interesting. Why? Because we were an Israeli company. Today we have by the way, today we have a company in the US. But at those times, we were not two guys, we were around 15, I think, but we were still an Israeli company. And I remember starting negotiating and entertaining the idea, what if you buy from us? And then I arrived to the decision maker, okay, to the boss. And I remember that we met it was in Newark, okay? And he entered the room with a gun, I remember that. And this one, was very strange, because I say, okay, suppose we advance, we are not in the, I don't feel very very comfortable in doing negotiations with you now. And then they laughed a little bit, but it creates like a good mood in the room, you know, for them, for me, I don't know. But I remember that they said there were many people, yes, there were like 10 people in the room from their side, and I took like 3 people from my side. And they say, suppose we want to continue, you are an Israeli company, and we are an American government company that we report to the president, okay, more or less. And and there is, Trump was president, and he issued America First. America First means you first need to hire an American company. You cannot hire a non-American company. So he asked me, this is America first, and you're not American, so how can I buy from you, right? And I really didn't understand what he asked me. That, I mean, this is not my thing, right? But anyway, so I remember that I say, if we arrive to here, okay, until this point, and you are negotiating already with that, because asking me that question is already a negotiation. And I guess that you personally, at personal level, you don't let things like non-American things be in your way, right? Otherwise, you were not in this position right now. So I will be here in Newark and 2-3 more dates, and I'm sure you will find a way. Okay, by the way, you have my mobile, and I'm available 24/7 whenever you want. Okay, just call me, WhatsApp, whatever you want. And this more or less was the end of the meeting. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I received a call the next morning. Okay, and they say we had an idea. Okay, and the idea is I will ask other companies to call you. You will sell to them, and we will buy from them. So we will do like a triangle selling. It turned out to be something that I was not the first, but I was the second Israeli company to sell to a government, to an American government institution. So they were already, yeah, that's true. And so the next morning we finished the call, and I started to get a lot of calls from a lot of companies in the US that wanted to buy from me. Okay, so I say, okay, if everyone wants to buy, right? I don't know how, but why not negotiate? So I was negotiating. I mean, I could sell only to one, because this was the one that will sell to Homeland Security. But I mean, they earn a margin, and I wanted to earn too. So I was negotiating to them the price. So I find myself in a position that negotiating doesn't want. And after that, they sell. I found out that they sell to many intelligence agencies in the US. So you get access to a lot of the names that you can imagine. And yeah, since I did a good negotiation, they thought I was a tough guy, but it was not that I was a tough guy. Don't misunderstand. It was I could sell only one. Okay, so I couldn't sell yes to more than one. So and they thought I was a tough guy, etc., etc. So at this point, we already have two customers. One in the private sector named Citibank, the other one and the government sector named Homeland Security. So we could sell in the US with reference from here, and to all intelligence agencies, because they asked me, do you have a reference in the government? And at that point, they say, sure, call him, call that, or believe me. And I did have. So this opened a lot of exposure in the US. And then we start selling. Maybe I went too fast. By the way, if you want to stop me and ask a question, feel free, right? Yes. And then I came back to Israel, and I told a lot that we got them. Okay, we will have these two guys. And then I don't remember if it was in your time, Jonathan, but it was invited by Slim. You know who Carlos Slim is?
Sure.
Yeah, Carlos Slim is one of the richest people in the planet, yes. And he's a Mexican guy, a Lebanese Mexican guy, that I think that he's the owner of Mexico. And I think he's the owner of half the US as well, yes. But for some reason, and he's non-Jewish, but he's in love with Israel. So every year he does like an event, and he invites a keynote speaker from Israel. And somehow I got an invitation that they wanted to be the keynote speaker and to speak. Yes, and I went there. And when I did this keynote speaker, one of the things that he brings, he has a lot of companies. Okay, he's the owner of many banks, telecom companies, etc. And he invites all his management people to the event. And then you get exposure in Central America and in the US as well. Okay. And I remember that they say, okay, we can help you get into the US. Are you already there? And I said, yeah, I'm just with City Homeless Security, but we will be more than glad to have more. And it was not true, I had more, because City One was helping me with a lot of banks. Okay. I see not just bank, when you get friends from there, people move jobs. And I remember one of the guys there moved to AIG, the insurance company. And AIG, it was a surprise for me, but they didn't have a cyber department. So they assigned, they assigned to this guy to create a cyber department. And guess who AIG called? Yes. So this is what helps to have good friends. So in fact, when you have these kind of guys, you are able to expand more quickly, because the internal movement of the people also between companies. So at that point, we already have a lot of exposure, both in the US, in Latin America. That was, by the way, Latin America was never a strategic place, okay? But it was an opportunity. I mean, if it comes, I will sell them. But my strategic thing was US. And then when we won this prize in the UN, it was Europe. And the third one that we're very strong up to today is ASEAN. We work with some governments in Singapore, in Japan, etc. So more or less, I think we cover a big part of the world there. Okay, that's the story.
It's really, really impressive and inspiring, Avi. You're actually much smarter than I remembered. You made a lot of good decisions along the way. It's really wonderful. I'm really so happy for you that it went so great, and it's really a wonderful story. What could you give a little bit of advice to our students? They're just beginning their career in cybersecurity, but you've seen a lot and done a lot of things. What would you say to these young people that are starting their career in this direction?
What advice? I think my best advice is be humble. Okay, be humble, because I do really believe that when you have success, and sometimes you have, and sometimes not. Okay, sometimes you fail, and there are a lot of things that you can control, and there are much more things that you can't control. Okay, don't believe that everything happens because of you, for good and for bad. Okay, so remain humble. It's very easy when you are in the top of the mountain, okay, to lose that, okay, and to think that you have something to do with that. Maybe you have something to do, but it's the more thing is if you don't. So when you keep humble, you attract people that you enrich yourself all the time, okay, and you hear and you learn from that. You really pay attention to what they say, and then this allows you to grow and to continue growing all the time. When I saw people that somehow, because everyone is smart in the environment that we move, everybody is very smart, okay, but the difference comes from the ego. Okay, if you're able to keep your ego low, and it's not an easy task when you are in the mountain, and the top of the mountain, but if you're able to keep your ego low, you have a very good advantage of many other people. So that's one advice, and maybe it's not related to technology, but it helped me a lot.
I can testify, Avi. I consider you a really humble person, and I know that you live that, and so I really think that is a key element of your success. And I would say, Avi, you also told me once about integrity, and that your college professor said that integrity is the most important element of success.
Yeah. How you remember that, Jonathan? Yes. That's true. I told Jonathan that something that when I was in the MBA, I had a professor that we had a subject, okay, and this subject was ethical, how to say, ethical business, something like that, okay, to be ethical in business. And I thought to myself at the beginning, what this has to do with business? I mean, everyone eats everyone else. Okay, they're all the animals. So what do ethics have? Why? And I asked this very old man, why do I need to study that? And the finding was they did like a test, and they took many successful people along the way, and they tried to analyze if they have something in common, okay, from different parts. Maybe not, but this is the study that they did. And one of the things that they found, that all the people that have undisputable success, okay, objectively, the one thing they have in common is their integrity, and they were ethical and integrity with the people that surround them. So somehow maybe it does not serve you in the short term, but it really serves you in the long term. So yeah, Jonathan, thank you for that, for reminding me.
Thank you, Avi, so much for sharing your words and being here with us. It's really a great story, and we're really so thankful to you. You should continue to do more good things. Six Skills should continue to grow, and we look forward to hearing about your next project and hearing about your success there.
With pleasure, and thank you for inviting me. And whatever for you, Jonathan, whatever you need.
Thank you so much.
I'm here.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about placing our students in Six Skill. We have to see if there's if we could do that, if that will be good way to go.
We are open to that.
Thank you so much. Where are the offices today, Avi?
In Azrieli. We are in the 42th floor of Azrieli.
Nice. Great. Okay, Michael El Khoyel from a Spanish winner, a Spanish-speaking winner, to another Spanish-speaking winner. Avi, the teacher of our course, Leo Huskevich, is from Mexico, also a Spanish speaker. I saw he was impressed that Carlos invited you to be a keynote speaker. Leo knows that Carlos owns Mexico. Leo, would you share with us a few words of divrei bracha to your students as on this happy occasion of their graduation of the course? Leo, please.
Sure. Let me get just my camera for the first time in a long time. Okay. So I didn't prepare a slide. I mean, everything's just improvised, like every class every week. No, I'm kidding. I do have some tips, maybe something that I by myself wanted to at least to know, but after I finished my studying, basically when I started looking for a job, specifically in Israel. So maybe I can share the whiteboard, maybe that will be easier. So the first thing, or maybe the first tip that I can share with all of you, it's basically to keep on davening. Yeah, I always say the same. Just pray. I mean, again, I think we all do, but sometimes we forget that, we.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Leo and Jonathan. I just need to leave in 4 minutes or a little less.
We understand, Avi. Thank you very much for being here. We greatly appreciated that you made the time to be with us.
Okay, thanks to you. My pleasure. And as I say, I'm here for whatever you need.
Very good. I'll reach out to you in the future. Thanks, Avi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Shalom.
Thank you so much.
Shalom. Bye-bye.
Yes, Leo, we're davening.
Yeah, we'll meet this guy next time in Mexico. With Carlos. So what I want to say. So yeah, I mean, that's just the first thing that I can say. Again, maybe we all know that. Just need to pay some attention to that. How, what, the hill, when, where, that's, you know that already. But I think it's, in my opinion, is the first thing we need to do. The second is to get a mentor. Maybe it's not this specific order, but when I say get a mentor is not like going to somebody and paying a few $1000s, just a few hundreds every month. It could be something or someone for free. Okay, I mean, it doesn't have to be a physical person. It could be somebody that you know from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, any other social media platform. Basically somebody you follow, you understand their posts, you like their posts, you like their I mean, of course it needs to be somebody that is very professional. It has a lot of, or actually they have a lot of experience, and the reason is because this way you're going to build your own path based on your goals. Okay, if let's say you're going for, let's say, I don't know, FIR, digital forensics and incident response, and this is what you want to do. So you start looking for people. I can try to help you to, give you like the top 5. I don't know so many people about this, but you can quickly see like the top 5 or 10 people on Twitter at least to follow, and you can also ask them questions. Okay, you don't need to present yourself. If you're a boy, a girl, you're from Israel, Belgium, they don't care about it. Okay, in many cases they answer you. I mean, just don't ask how do I hack into my teacher's Facebook. Not that. Something very specific like a path, like, is this book good? What do you think about this code, this platform? Like very, very concrete questions. And yeah, sometimes, it's not bulletproof. Sometimes they just don't answer. A lot of people, they're very busy. Others are just, uh, it's less effective to contact with them. And sometimes again, you're gonna probably, or you are already on your internship, and there's a lot of people or a few people that you see some other employees in other areas in the same area, that you can also try to connect with them. You can also try to have some conversations on what you plan to do on the first few months, years, what you are interested in. And this is how you can kind of build your future, at least in the short or long term, depending on what you're looking for. I mean, that will be also part of networking. And the reason is because, again, I'm not sure exactly how it goes in the US, but I guess it's something similar. At least in Israel, if you have friends in other companies, it's very, very powerful, and it's very convenient it's much easier to get hired when you have friends in those companies, rather than just sending the CV to I mean, even with the HR partner, whatever, the HR employee, they reach out to you. And the reason is because, it's just your CV. I mean, it's the same, but on the other hand, you have some recommendations from your friends. They're gonna say, yeah, this guy, she has a lot of capabilities. They're very skilled. They learn here and there. They don't need to explain too much. Okay, you just say like, okay, I know them, and yeah, and sometimes you're gonna have a preference over dozens of other candidates. In other cases, you can skip some interviews. Okay, it happened to me also a couple of times, because I knew them, and they were like, they were desperate, and they were like, okay, no, I know this guy. Yeah. Then the HR partner told me, no, I'm gonna skip this 2 or 3 interviews. Yeah, sometimes you do like 6 or 7 interviews. So it's very important. Okay. Again, you don't need to get to personal details. I don't believe that many of even those people, I mean, in the people that today they work with me, they don't really know, like maybe, I don't know, where my wife is from or how many kids I have. They just don't care. Okay. I guess. Okay, maybe they hacked into my fit and I don't have Facebook. So I think this is also very powerful. Okay. If you want also, you can try to contact me. You have my phone number, WhatsApp, Telegram, and in Signal. I installed it. Yeah, because one friend forced me. He wanted to send me some confidential data, and he didn't trust whatever other platforms. And then the Twilio phishing campaign came out just a few days ago. Yeah. And okay. And the third point, maybe it's also related to the previous one, is okay, after you get a mentor, after you know what to learn, courses, books, you get certifications, whatever you want to do. So then you need to know what you need to do to be outstanding. How are you going to be different from dozens or hundreds of different candidates? Um, so that is maybe personal, but I can give you like some tips. Okay, if you see, let's say that the requirements for certain position is, like I don't know, maybe let's say 4 languages. Okay, so instead of learning 4 different programming languages, maybe you can focus on 1 and 2. Okay, the most, and then you're gonna say, okay, I know this and that. Okay, instead of saying like, okay, 4, or a little bit of every single topic or requirement that they ask. Or maybe some other certifications. Okay, they have always in the what is it called, in the Java description. So they have like a section for like advantage. So sometimes they write like BSc, MSc. So usually people don't get that. But they could write some advantages like, I don't know, maybe AWS, Azure, Docker, cloud, something else that you're gonna have an advantage over other candidates. So even though some people have a degree, okay, because again in cybersecurity it's much better to have experience than a degree. Okay, even at MSc, or for the other way, even an OCP or OCE or some other this kind of recognized certifications are much better and much recognized than MSc. Okay, and I'm telling you because I also interview people for my team, and because everyone is going to tell me that. Okay, if you're going to I mean, after you get your job and after a couple of years, if you want to advance your career, unless you want to go for a management position or you are in a management position that you want to advance, you don't need an MSc. You don't even need a BSc. Okay, BSc. It's much better to get knowledge in again other languages, other technologies, other techniques, other, I don't know, just other stuff. Okay, but you also need to do like a self retrospection. You need to know exactly what you want. Okay, because people, they're not going to decide what you want. They're going to tell you, okay, you want to go for pen testing, so they're going to give you the resources. You're going to go for a stock analyst, so okay, here are the resources, books, people, and so on, or programs, whatever it is, skills. Okay, but if you're gonna ask, what do I need to do? Like I'm between pen testing and red teaming and GRC. You need to decide by yourself. You need to do some research. What exactly is every job, the responsibilities, what are the tasks? You can ask for some clarification if you need, okay? Because yeah, sometimes it's not so clear what a red teamer is doing. But then you need to decide by yourself, okay? Nobody's going to decide for you. And I would say lastly, and I know it might sound like a little bit obvious, we need to make breaks, okay? When you get to, I mean, more deeper into cybersecurity, you're gonna see that you have, like I said already, like a Torah. Okay, it's huge what you can do. You can spend, I don't know, thousands of hours learning and practicing and getting more certifications and looking at more vulnerabilities. But you need to slow it down, and you need to, I mean, first of all, you get overwhelmed because every single day there are, I don't know, at least 3 vulnerabilities, at least, and maybe more. I'm saying for sure every single day there is 3 more vulnerabilities in different devices. Maybe one is a router, the other one is an web application, and the other one is in a just a desktop application, open source, whatever it is, because there's just tons of information. And first of all, you need to take breaks, okay? Because a lot of a lot of people, they just struggle with that. You want to learn everything, you want to get all the certifications, especially at the beginning. And sometimes you know you skip. I mean, just like any like those people that they're the gamers. I don't like gamers. So like they just like you know they skip dining, they skip the lunch, they skip you know it's not a normal life, okay? And I'm telling you because it happens, okay? It happens to many people. When you are in the middle of I don't know an application, learning something, doing something, you don't want to stop there, okay? Because again, there's tons of things to learn, and just need to think that you must do that. And I think that's all. I mean, uh, I think that the rest we read already from Jonathan and from Avi. Go to your LinkedIn profile, start building it if you didn't do so yet. And again, just look where you were a year ago. You probably were struggling with Linux, Windows virtualization, and now you know a lot more stuff. And yeah, from here you can try to be outstanding with other people. You can try to learn more stuff, specifically what you want. Um, yeah, I will just wish you good luck.
Thank you, Leo, for wise words. We do you recommend Abu Dhabi for a break? Thank
Do you
you.
recommend Abu Dhabi for a break? Yeah, it's great.
We'll have a reunion there, Bezrat Hashem. Okay. Without further ado, thank you, Shmuel, for warm words for Leo. Magielo. Leo's great. Leo totally changed the face of our program over the past 2 years. Leo was really a wonderful and dedicated professional who really raised our game to a new level. That happened, and we'll be eternally grateful. We continue to work with Leo, and we have so much respect and appreciation for everything you've done, Leo. So kol hakavod, bemet.
You.
Without further ado, I want to give out diplomas to everybody. So sort of in no particular order. You'll see as we go. I'm going to begin, and I'm only going to give them to people that are here. So I'm starting with Benji Jacobs, and here's how I do it. I'm sharing my screen. Benji, Mazel tov to you. You came and you gotten into the industry, and I know you're working today. And you put in a great year. I know you have big ideas for the future in the world of cyber. So let this be the first of your milestones in cyber, and take it and continue to do wonderful things. So congratulations to Benji.
Thank you very much. You caught me at a bit of a strange time. I'm actually vacationing in America right now, but it was an unbelievable year. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it's definitely helped me a lot in advancing in my current position. Like you said, I am looking to bigger things in the future. I would love to collaborate with people on this team. You know, the friendships and the relationships that I've developed here have really been big in helping me make sure I stay on track with the course. And you know, the tzavta, the friendships, and the help with all of the work has really been great. And of course, without Khan and Jonathan, we all wouldn't be here. Our thanks go out to you, whether it's in the course itself or the placements and all the side conversations of how we should continue. Thank you very much.
Shkoyach, thank you. Okay. Next is Bina K. Let's see, sharing your diploma. Bina, congratulations to you, Bina. You're welcome to say a few words, Bina, but you don't have to. I think of you as a quiet person. Okay. Bina, would you like to share?
Thank you so much for everything.
Okay, there you are.
Thank you so much. I've really learned a lot from this course.
Wonderful. Thank you. Continued success to you. Okay. Hani Kruskal told me she probably would not be able to make it. And Daniel Friedman, I see, is not here. Okay. Esther Acta. Congratulations to you, Esther Acta.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate everything that you guys have done. Continued success.
Thank you. Same to you. Is Frady Cohn here? I don't see Frady Cohn. Okay, I have a special one to, I want to say this in the way that it should be understood. To Rebbitzin, we didn't treat her like a Rebbitzin, but she's a Rebbitzin. Rebbitzin Hudi Horowitz. Hudi, you're far from the oldest person to take our course. We've had people much older than you, but there's an expression that you probably know called Zaken velo lefi chvoido. And so I think you're probably the most chashiva person who's taken our course. Your husband is a huge Rav, a Dayan, who is super accomplished, and you yourself are a chashiva Rebbitzin, a Chassidish Rebbitzin. And so the fact that you rolled up your proverbial sleeves and got into it and did the learning and the working, and you're working in the field now, I just have to give you so much credit that you did not say, oh, it's lo lefi chvoidi, but you came in and you saw and you conquered and you pushed Leo, explain everything. And I really want to know and get it. And again. So kol hakavod to you, Hudi, really an inspiration.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support and the support of all of the students that, we all learned from each other and took, strength when it felt like it just was a bit too much. Baruch Hashem, we're at this point, and I actually started stage today, which was pretty ironic to have to start stage on the same day. But Baruch Hashem, so for all of you guys that are still looking, and if you go on LinkedIn and you see the impossible requirements that they seem to be demanding, just keep at it. Don't give up. Thank you so much. And I wish you many, many long, successful years in helping getting other people, into some things they never dreamed that they could even do.
Thank you so much. Great words. Okay. We are in cold Canada. It's in the summertime, so it's not so cold. Shimon Binger, mazel tov to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you, Leo. Thank you, everybody. It's great to be the first Canadian. Hopefully there'll be many. There's still one in the next course, right? And hopefully there'll be many more. Good. Thank you. Hatzlacha.
Amen. Comment, I wrote Shimon on your diploma, Kevin, because I thought that in Canada that's more understood. But anybody, if I made a spelling mistake, or if you like a different name or spelling on your diploma, just let me know, and no problem, happy to do that. Okay. Let's see. I don't believe that Leah Smith is here. But Liat is here, and I want to honor Liat. Liat, Doveret Ivrit, but you made the effort to do the English and master it, and you watched the Hebrew recordings and everything, so you overcame obstacles. Hitgabart al kshaim. Kol hakavod lach, Liat.
Thank you very much.
Bracha v'atzlacha v'emshech. Somebody is here as NB, I'm not sure, but I'll come back to that. Okay. Miriam, Mimi Fox, mazel tov to you, Mimi. Your mic has not been working properly, but thank you so much for everything. Okay, thank you, Mimi. Kol hakavod. Okay. So here's one, no problem. Here is, I made it out to Naomi Winter, but I think I should have made it out to Naomi Katzelnegebogen. So I'll be happy to update that. You'll tell me.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem, I got married, and due to the flexibility of this course, I was able to make it in the end. Thank you.
Yes. That was like a feather in your cap, because you could have given up and said, I got behind and I lost it and I lost momentum, but you came back.
I had to do it my way, but I ended up doing it.
Yes, that's really great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, so I think NB is Naomi Bamberger. Naomi Zenachon, is that? Newborn hacker, it's Leo. I don't know. Anyway, Naomi Bamberger, Ken, Zotat. Naomi Bamberger is also a great success story. I actually have to give a lot of credit to Hannah, my wife. She sort of spotted you and your potential to do this, and you came through and you did it. And I know you're working in the field, so I'm really, really happy for you. Kol hakavod, tamshichi hala. So that's a great success. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, Rivka Senders here. Rivka is the second. We have a number of sister teams of sisters who've taken the course and done well, and then they brought their sister to take the course. So Rivka is one of those people. Leah works in the field. She's really great. And Rivka's younger sister and also has a really bright future in the field. Congratulations to you, Rivka.
Thank you so much. I have so much at Karsatov. I really started knowing nothing, and I figured I'd try and see how far I could get. And I loved it. It was challenging. It was fun. It was really, really amazing. And I hope to have a lot of stuff going forward. And I have so much at Karsatov, to Jonathan, to Hannah, to Leo, to everyone, all of you. I learned so much. So Hatzlacha, everyone.
Thank you, Amen. Thank you, Rivka. Okay. I don't think Yehuda Mendelovitz is here.
He is. I think he is.
You think Yehuda's here? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Yehuda's here. Yehuda's my quiet football player. So Yehuda, congratulations to you. You did it in your quiet way, and we look forward to good things from you in the future.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
Pleasure. Okay. So now I have the distinct honor. I have 4 students who graduated with honors. And again, it's always a special privilege to have wonderful people. Everybody who takes the course are wonderful, and everybody showed bravery and so forth. 4 students who distinguished themselves throughout the year in their work and their performance. So the first is Yudis Kamarov. Mazel tov to Yudis. You graduated with honor and distinction.
Wow, thank you. And I hope to take it to the next step. And I really appreciate it. It was a great, great course. I just enjoyed it tremendously. It helps me in my current IT job, expands my horizons. And yeah, I live in Silver Spring, close to DC. So if anybody, there are a lot of jobs in cyber here. If anybody wants to come and visit us, we're open for business, and we'd love to have you come visit. Thank you so much, Jonathan and Leo.
Our pleasure. Beautiful. Next, with honor, also from Lakewood. I somehow. Leah Toledano. Mazel tov, Leah. Are you still here, Leah? You were. Okay. Leah recently got a job, so we're really happy for Leah. Okay, we ran a little bit over, so 2 more diplomas and then we'll wrap it up. And okay, we're in a different continent now. We're over the ocean and we are in merry old England. Reuven Gluck, you graduated with honor and distinction. Mazel tov to you, Reuven.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone. I really enjoyed it last year. Get to know so many people, made so many friends. So I want to mention all of them. And hopefully keep up the relationship and the friendships. I can't believe it's actually finished. I wouldn't mind. Everyone wants another year. We'll do another year. I'm more than happy. We learned so much, and I feel like there's so much still to learn. And thank you, Jonathan and Hannah, for all the support and continued support when I start looking for my first job as Rosh Hashem. And thanks to Leo. And I find it interesting that Leo says that you should take breaks because the guy is always working. I'm not sure when he takes breaks. Answers questions in the middle of the night. and seems to be always working. So I'm not sure what he means by breaks. I feel like I'm taking a break always. And thanks everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ruben. And I think it's you take breaks. Okay, last but not least. Okay, I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Nevada. Shmuel Johnson. Shmuel, you're entertaining. You're the life of the party. You're a hard worker. You're bright and funny. Thank you so much for being a part of our program.
Wow, thank you. I just wanted to, just a lot of gratitude. You know, it's funny, like oh my God, my battery's running low. I'll just say that, you know, like for the longest time in my life, like I felt really stuck and I didn't really know where I was going, what I was doing. I'm turning 40, you know, next month. So it's been a long road, but I really felt like I found a home in IT, and I'm so thrilled that Summit was my entryway into this world. Tons of gratitude. Like I can't really express enough how much gratitude I have. We're doing so good here. Got a job, you know, certified, all the fun stuff. And actually, I'm going to be taking the network bus next week, and hopefully passing that, and just upwards and onwards for everybody. Hatzlacha, and yeah, this was wonderful.
Thank you, Shmuel.
Thank you, Shmuel. B'hatzlacha to you.
Okay, mazel tov to everybody. Closing words from my wife, Hannah Ratner.
Hi, everyone. We're really happy that you successfully finished your course, and we wish you a lot of hatzlacha in everything you're going to do. We believe in you. You're great people. You're going to, you know, will succeed in everything you will do. You will be supporting your family, and you will be serving Hashem, and you will be doing mitzvahs. And like it's a new you, it's like a better version of you, not being just a person, but being a professional, and staying religious, and being sharing your ideas and your insights with other people. So we wish you a lot of hatzlacha, bringing the light to this world, and making your family happy, and yourself happy, and Hashem happy. B'hatzlacha to you in everything you do.
Amen. Thanks everybody for being here today and throughout. We're here for you. Don't hesitate to reach out through email. The Slack channel will stay open, so you could use that also if you want. So thank you very much. Bracha v'atzlacha. I'm ending the meeting. All the best to everyone. Shalom.
Thank you so much.
Bruchim to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hudi.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Benji.